Nemesis Sopor are a German atmospheric black metal band, and Firmament is their fourth album. This is a decidedly big step up for the band in terms of, I guess, recording fidelity, finer arrangements, and a little bit more of their own sound. Now, this album concerns itself with the examination of freedom and what that means for the individual and for the general notion of society and how everyone approaches it differently. But their sort of big thesis here is the existence of this firmament, and firmament doesn't necessarily mean what you'd think it would at face value. It's not a foundation so much as a perceived point of transcendence, a step into uh, the afterlife or the beyond, or wherever you might imagine that might be. And it's used to symbolize the blockage between where human beings want to be and where they, naturally are. And so already we're in, uh, I think, deep enough existential thought, and more than that is socioeconomic implications and whatnot. That I think it reflects well on the amount of growth they've brought to this album in terms of style and personalization, which no longer feels so related to the uh, more common kind of Wolves in the Throne Room influenced side of atmospheric black metal out of Germany in the last decade or so, which I would mostly point to Der Weg einer Freiheit and Imperium Decadens as clear examples of that style that has likewise moved a little bit towards progressive and, you know, uh, even dark wave influenced things in the past. But Nemesis Sopor have taken their own route, and I think it's a good time to just listen to what they're all about for a clip, just to get a sense of where the good stuff is and how they are a little bit different. So really, the big boon to their style and their compositions came pretty recently in 2020. They put out a song Demiurge on a split between four bands. And there we start to see the compositions for two guitars continue to sophisticate even more to the point where it feels like whoever the main songwriters are have reached a point of mastery and sort of uh, lining up where the two guitarists land, and then they provide a pretty standard vocal on top of that, but everything else seems to be a well-oiled machine that is able to play with abstraction and harmony in a pretty considerable way for this type of atmospheric black metal, which is on the cusp of progressive in its rhythm guitar arrangements and the finesse of the music in general. It's got a little bit of a psychedelic affect. That's kind of why I bring up Ulcerate and Suffering Hour, and you'll have heard that in the clip of Apsis that I played earlier. Um, so, where we go with this record is um, there's just a bit more focus on interest in generating constant interest. We're not floating around. We're not relying on a cloying guitar progression, but it's a record steeped in thought from start to finish. There are blissful moments, there are conflicted moments, there's frustrated moments, and a lot of this clashes in strange ways, but it fits with the theme well. And if I knew German and I had read the lyrics, I might be, have it interpreted a little bit more clearly. But you get the feeling from the record that they've approached this theme and sort of embodied it with their what they've been able to pull from the arrangements they've written. Anyway, it's a modern atmospheric black metal record that doesn't feel commercial. Just to just put it in the most clear way possible. If you are familiar with the kind of stuff that a record like AOP Records puts out, it does have that accessible quality to it. I'll concede that much. But this goes its own way. It feels unobstructed by that, and I think that's important on a record from a fully independent band who are, discussing freedom on the record in a philosophical and spiritual point of view, that it does feel like they're doing their own thing. And if they didn't, it just wouldn't be as effective of a theme and a statement. So I was impressed by it. I had a really good time listening to it. So the kind of thing that it was instantly appealing to me, but I wasn't really sure if there was substance there. And I don't think all of these songs necessarily fully hit, but as a full listen, it is very effective, and a record that I came back to multiple times beyond just the usual listening run. So, an easy high recommendation for me. It might be more enthusiastic over time. I think I really need to get the lyrics and sit down with them and translate them from German and see how that additionally hits me along with just the effect of the music itself. And, I like the artwork as well. So, see if that's your kind of thing. Again, it's a high recommendation for me. And as always, you'll get a lot more detail in the written review if you want more information and to listen to more clips. Uh, yeah, there you go.